You've been gone a while.
She's asking a lot about you, Virgil.
I had this book with me when I was taking a trip in Ireland, horseback riding trip with my family, and I had just brought the book along just to read it, and I read the first few scenes between these two guys, and I just really fell in love with it. The dialogue and the relationship and friendship, and it's really a story about friendship ultimately.
Ed called me up, and he said, pick up this book, read this book, and tell me what you think. I read 2 chapters, and I said, I'm in. It's a really beautiful story of friendship and the silence that exists between these 2 men.
And I read it, and I thought it was very interesting. In some ways, it's a very traditional story, kind of a throwback. It's much better writing and much more subtle in terms of the characterizations, especially under Ed's direction, than most Westerns.
Well, these are 2 guys that have been together for years. You know, they've been riding together for over 12 years, and they just know each other. They don't have to talk about their feelings necessarily. There's a lot of unspoken understanding between them. They're very, very comfortable with one another. They respect each other, and they have a sense of humor together.
Well, we ain't doing nothing wrong, and you ain't got no jurisdiction up here.
Jurisdiction?
I believe he means jurisdiction.
I believe he does, and he's by God right about it.
I am kind of Virgil's straight man, I guess, in a way. It depends on the director, you know. That can be effective, or it can just look flat and uninteresting. If you've got a director like Ed who's paying attention to the dynamic between different characters, as he has been, then that can be very rich. You know, there's a lot to mine there.
I want to know if you were married.
What'd you tell her?
I didn't know.
Well, hell, Everett, you see a wife around here?
I do not.
Then why the hell did you tell her you didn't know?
I might have a wife in Silver City, or in Nogales, or Bisbee.
Bisbee? Everett, if I had a wife in Bisbee, don't you think you'd know about her? It wasn't ultimately a luxurious budget, but one that we've been able to work with. Now, most everybody's working for little or nothing, including the crew. Dean Semler, who's a great cinematographer, is working for far below what he usually gets. Myself, Vigo, Renee, you know, pretty much across the board, everybody's doing it because they really like the project.
Well, Ed called, and that was the start of it. I thought, well, I can pretty much just give you a blind blanket yes right now. Whatever it is that you're going to go do that you would like me to come and join you on, I'll be there.
Well, Renee, you know, first of all, she's got enough energy to light up the town, and second of all, she's got a great sense of humor. Allie is a very difficult role in the sense that part could easily be played as a manipulative bitch. And the character was never intended to be that. It's really a story about love, too, and almost kind of an unconditional love on Cole's part for this woman that he is drawn to, who's never met anyone like her before, and he makes a decision to stick with her, regardless.
I love the ambiguity of the character. I love that there's so much mystery surrounding her. I love her determination. I love that she's so weak, and yet she's so determined to do the best she can. She's a survivor anyway.
I'd never made a Western before. I'd always been an admirer of Ed Harris. I very much enjoyed Pollock. The opportunity to come out here and ride some horses and to work with him and Viggo Mortensen and Renee, all people I admired, it's a great opportunity. It's very difficult being a director and an actor on the same picture because you are a father and a child at the same time.
What a hell of a job that is, pulling off more than one role. I mean, particularly when he's in front of the camera for, 60, 70, 80% of the picture. He's in front of the lens, being that character. It's a thrill for me to see actors of his caliber, and Vigo and Renee and Jeremy before, to be able to photograph him in such a wonderful piece. It's good fun.
We were very organized. I mean, Dean and I We pretty much knew basically how we wanted to shoot every scene in the damn thing before we got started, and it was just really helpful to spend the time with them, to see the sets, to understand the space, understand the town, understand the light.
Personally, I find Ed to be an artist and a wonderful actor, which most directors aren't. So sometimes he's directing as his character, which can be frightening. He challenges you to do different things. He says, oh, okay, we got that one now, let's do another one. Something. Have an experience, live this moment at this time. I really don't think it's a good idea to talk about him too much because I don't want to take any of the mystery away, but his work is, yeah, see, he agrees.
Everybody is not only really right for the character that they're playing, but they're the kind of actors who are detail-oriented. And Ed, I think, insists on that. Using language and the interactions, you know, he's really a stickler for realism, for being in the moment and playing what's happening there. And I knew it would be that kind of group.
Okay, thank you. All right. At the top of this segment, Luce, let's have you. You're getting up, and Vince is walking up. In directing, I'm responsible for, this bench I'm sitting on and the height of this porch and where this jail is in this town and where this railing is and what it looks like, what I'm wearing. I mean, you're working with all the department heads and everybody has their input, but ultimately it's the director's final say about how things are going to look, how they're going to feel, how it's going to go, how it's going to be shot, how it's going to be acted, how it's going to be cut. And I like that. It's not about control as much as it is about having something you want to say and saying it the way you want to say it.
If you're Bragg's man, you're probably going to get stopped and checked. And, we'll just see what happens. This will probably be a bit of a monster fuck, but that's okay. Behave like human beings and we'll all be happy. So here we go. Good luck.